Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998. I still have a lot of stuff to practice. Today, I'm going to be doing a live stream where I'm showing how I'm practicing, specifically my 3 strokes we're going to be working on today. There's over 400 prior live streams with timestamps in the description to show what I was practicing if you want to see me work on stuff I'm not good at yet, or refining things that I'm okay at, as well as questions that I've answered across the different chats that I have on my other monitor. Because I've been drumming for so long, because I have a bachelor's, master's, PhD in music education, and have taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student, people ask questions about how to get better as a performer or how to get better as an educator. I will often edit those answers and put them into this drumming tips playlist that has just under 100 videos in here that will help you with your drumming and teaching. The first thing that I talk about in each one of these videos is the title. So like what to practice to make the drum line. And then when it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, that means there's more stuff in there. So if you check the timestamps, you can see in like the chapters, here's what I was talking about, to see if something might be of interest to you, if the title itself is not of interest to you. Now, all of the playlongs and stuff that I'm using are found on my home tab. There's over 2,000 of them for free, so, enjoy. We've got chop stuff at the top right here. Gaming stuff because I'm a nerd. We've got over 1,000 grid variations. It says click for more because there's so many playlists, you have to click on the header to show all of them. There's limb independent stuff, which is what I was practicing yesterday. We've got just under 500 marching bass drum exercises, several drumline cadences, a few hundred technique exercises. This one you also have to click to show all of the playlists in here. I'm going to be practicing out of the some of the exercises in here today, so stay tuned for that. And then here's where you can find the drumming tips, the lessons, the live streams, and then a couple of product reviews for these drum pads that I'll be practicing on today. Now, I need to get motivated here with the great motivator, Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf here is going to help me to get into the mindset of streaming today. So let me hide Shia. He's very shy. Here we go. Sorry, I had to. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success, while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! Thank you for the like. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf. I am so tired of starting over. Appreciate the motivation, Cheyenne. Alright, so this is my website, which is jaredoleary.com/drum. This is where you can find all the chop exercises here. There's 62 of them. The battle, good morning. We've got over 1,000 grid variations here. 419 for triplet, 577 for 16th, 36 wacky ones like Herta grid. We've got all these limb independence charts and permutations to work on your limb independence. And a video that shows you, how to develop it. A few hundred marching bass stuff, all the cadences, and then all the technique stuff. Now, I'm going to warm up, and then I'm going to stretch and massage, and then I'm going to work out of the, where is it at? Double stops playlist right here. And this has an exercise called isolated threes that I'm going to work on to improve my 3 strokes. But before I do that, I'm going to just get my blood flowing in the hands. What do I want to play? Let's do Rodeo. So under the 16th note diddle exercise, this is a variation of gallop that like Rennick will teach his lines. I don't know if he still does, but I know he did. But Rodeo is like an extended version of it. So if you go into here, we've got Rodeo, and then we've got inverted Rodeo where it plays with inverted diddles. But we're going to ignore that for right now. It's a little tease for you. And we got to change the resolution here. In every one of these play-alongs, they start slow, they go fast. This one starts as slow as 20 beats a minute, all the way up to 160, one click at a time. I'm going to start off at 120. That might be too fast, but stay tuned. We'll find out. We're warming up here. Wish me luck. Getting that blood going. My like stick clicked and then it just almost flew out of my hand. This is pretty brisk for a warm-up. Okay. Stop. Stop. It's so loud. It's like screaming at me. Cool. We're now going to stretch and massage. Just need to get the blood flowing a little bit. So just, quick warm up. Doesn't need to be anything too fancy. Just for a couple minutes. First thing I'm going to do is stretch the sides of the forearm. So I'm holding my sticks, palms facing up. Pull in, push through. It's a weird looking stretch. It feels great. And then to get out of it, you just go back out the way that you came. If you do traditional rotate and hold to one end of the extreme, rotate and hold to the other end of the extreme. This is also good if you do like rotary techniques. For example, like Steven's grip, if you play marimba and use that rotary motion, it can help with that. But now I'm going to stretch the top side of the forearm, or sorry, the underside of the forearm. So we could do it like this. Ooh. You could do 2 fingers at a time. 2 fingers at a time. Ooh. You could do this on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. And now we're going to stretch the top side of the forearm. So you could do it like this. You could do 2 fingers. 2 fingers. Gives it a little deeper stretch. You could do this one on your legs. That's how I did it yesterday on the drum kit. But if you do this one on the wall, this time it's the higher you go, the deeper the stretch. Don't put all your weight into it. Oh, yeah. And now, we're going to stretch thumb to thumb. Boop. Start with the larger muscles, go to the smaller. The larger parts of the hand, arm, go to the smaller. So we do first stretching the forearms and whatnot, then go to the fingers. Same thing for the massage, which I will do once I finish this little stretch routine real quick. And then we're going to work on 3 strokes. Whee! The middle finger is like the one that starts the ASMR experience. Like the first 2, the thumb and the pointer, they don't give you that little ASMR. Let's see. Oh, nothing. Teased you there. So sorry. Another one. Oh, no. And now we're going to massage. So thumb on top, fingers underneath. Massaging up and down the forearm. Trying to get relaxed. I feel like I can move this forward a little bit. You gonna cooperate? No, it's hitting something on the desk. Fine, be that way. I see how it is. It's got like this camera is on a very extended boom. It's like all the way behind my desk. And it's bumping into it apparently. All right, so now that I finished like massaging the forearms, now I'm going to massage the hands. So the thumb is going to massage the palm. The fingers are going to massage the back side of the hands. Trying to get everything relaxed. Ooh, that feels good. Knew that it would. Do, 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 do. And now base the tip of each one of the fingers. Loosening things up. This is the very last massage. Do it at least twice per finger. Kind of work your way through while you're massaging up and down the finger. Is that massaging up the finger or is it massaging down the finger when you're going from the base to the tip? Inquisitive minds want to know. Guess it depends on the perspective. Cool! Alright, so we warmed up. Again, this one's called Rodeo. It's a variation of Gallop. And you can find this in the 16th Note Diddle playlist. There's 22 videos in this playlist right now. The ones that say members first are all scheduled to release for free. So there's like 450 some odd of them. So it might take a year and a half for some of these to come out, but there's still 2,000 exercises available for free. So if you want early access, 99 cents. Otherwise, just wait. I promise it'll come out for free. So we're going to go back to here. So this is... Actually, I'll show you how to get here from YouTube. So we're going to go to the Home tab. Boop. The place that I was at the top of every one of these play-alongs. It's just my website, /drum. But... This is also where you can find it on my home tab. So we got all the chop exercises, over 1,000 grid variations. Again, click to show all of them. Limb independence, marching bass stuff. There's like almost 500 in here. Drumline cadences. And then we've got the technique exercises. So the one that I'm going to be working on for my 3 strokes is inside. If we scroll down here, there's a 3 and 4 stroke exercises playlist. And so inside of here, there are currently 25 videos in here. With a variety of exercises to help you work on your 3s. Now, there are multiple different ways that you can do a 3-stroke. So a 3-stroke you could play with where you're wristing in all of the notes, so you're actually physically stroking each one of them, or where you're doing a single stroke, single downstroke, and you're doing a controlled rebound for 3 notes. Whatever you want to do for it, there's exercises to be able to help you out with that. So if you are doing a wrist stroke, the 3-stroke strength exercise is great for working on wrist strokes. So very simple exercise. The accents and the taps have about a 3-inch difference in here. So this is not like a normal accent tap exercise. So when you're playing it, first measure, everything's all at one height. The next measure, you're playing an emphasis on the downbeat. Again, it's not an accent tap. It's 1, 2, 3. So it's like 12, 9, 9, basically. And then you do the same thing for the next measure, etc. While doing this. So you do this off the right, you do this off the left, you do this both hands at the same time, so that way you can hear the hands together to make sure that they sound good together. So if you're wristing out your 3 strokes, check out that exercise. As well as like short, long variations. Those are great. I'm going to work on today a controlled rebound, so a controlled bounce stroke using the isolated 3s exercise. So this one, love you. Woo! This one, very simple exercise. So you're playing, these are downstrokes, because we're going to do a controlled rebound. I can't speak. And then you play controlled rebound. And then you do double stops. Now, when you're doing this, let's make my mouse click. That's funny. You don't want to hear something like that. You want to have the 3 notes make a popping sound instead of like a flam or a blah, 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 blah sound when you're doing this. So we do it starting off the right as double stops, starting off the left, and then as double stops to, again, make sure that you're playing all 3 notes the same on the right hand and the left hand. And then the very end is just... My stick slid out of my hand. And then you do it off the left. All right. So that's the plan. So let's start off at, I don't know, what would be a good controlled rebound speed? Maybe 100? If it's too slow or too fast, we can always adjust it. The timestamps in the description let you pick whatever BPM you want to work on this. If you want to work on this with wrist strokes, you can totally do that too. Just slow it down. I want to do fours. I want to do fours. Yeah, this speed, like I want to play 4 strokes. There's a 4 version of this. Isolated 4s. That was a mental mistake. Focus, Jared. Okay, fine. Pad was slipping. My mouse keeps clicking. Stop that. Trying to prevent it from doing that. My mouse is just being difficult this morning. I'm gonna ground you later today. Also, my left-hand 3s are a little wonky today. I keep wanting to do 4s. You gotta do dance. It helps. Makes you better. Trust me, I'm a doctor. It's a simple exercise, but it's very effective. You can really hear the dirt on the double stops. This one. Pad keeps sliding. Why, hello. 108. Here we go. Rushed into that right hand off the left. Yeah, it's kind of a weird like speed. Like I could wrist it, but I'm trying to just focus on the controlled rebound stroke, which is why I'm doing these like down strokes. Awkward tempo. It'll feel better faster. Slowed down there. So sorry. Can you transform alternating into chops? Yeah, just play fast. I will say though that like there's a tendency, it's usually with younger drummers, and this is no offense or anything to younger drummers, but there's this tendency to just like focus on everything at one height and just playing fast. So like thinking that like that is somehow like harder than playing distinct phlegm accents or something, but like just fast something at one height is just like training yourself to do one thing quickly and not really having much control over it. So when I see, again, no offense, some people who will just like focus on only speeding up their singles and just like try and get that as quickly as possible, it's like great. But there's more like timbres, textures, etc. that you can do when you are playing the drums aside from just playing one thing at one height just as quickly as possible. You're 20 years old? Nice, I'm 40. Yeah, 20 is still very young for drumming. At least a 40-year-old. Almost 40. Hello. Here we go. In like, what, a week I'll be 40? Guess what? 8. Is that correct? Squid Game is coming to Fortnite. Interesting. Velvet, why hello. Welcome. We must go faster. 1:15. Oh no. Hello, my lord. I have no idea who you're talking to. Who should get a girlfriend? I have a wife. I don't need a girlfriend. game am I streaming today? Tomb Raider. 2013 game. You've arrived. Welcome back. You're going to switch to your main account so you can become number 1. And the battle continues. What is that? I don't know what that little emote thing is. But yeah, so I have a ring around my neck. I said I love you to a woman that you could hear off camera who is leaving. She's not a girlfriend, but she is a wife, so I don't need a girlfriend. I've had those before. Wives are better. You're updating your bios right now? Nice. As in on the computer, or as in your professional bio? Am I gonna do Fortnite again? Probably not. I just kind of got tired of the game. I like the single player stuff. It was just too frustrating. Ever since they got rid of the Reaper sniper rifle, I just haven't enjoyed the game. It's been all about movement, and I just don't care for that. So it's all about what items you get. Oops. Yeah, in the computer. The joys of language. Many words mean many things. Yeah, my hands are inconsistent this morning. One of those days. Let's get some water. Stay hydrated. Water is good. Okay, here we go. Here we go. You haven't updated in a year. Uh-oh. I update every week. I like this. This is a more comfortable tempo. Stop sliding. I like this exercise. It's fun. That was kind of a little weird there. How do I do these rolls with one hand? That's a really good question. I wouldn't actually recommend doing these. If you're new to drums, don't worry about these. These are the more advanced stuff. So I'm doing what's called 3 strokes. So you're doing 1 downstroke, so my wrist is moving down 1 time, and then I'm letting it bounce 3 times before I put my wrist back up. So a single stroke, and I'm just stopping it on that third stroke. I can't talk. So I'm not doing that where it just keeps going forever. I'm stopping it on that 3rd note. And so this exercise that I'm working on is helping me to match my right and my left hand so that they're the same, so they don't sound like that, but the same when they're played together. So this exercise is a great way to work on those 3 on each hand, whether you're going slower like that or faster. But I wouldn't actually recommend doing this for beginners. But what I would recommend is, instead of playing this particular exercise, is if you go into the home tab of YouTube, if you're a beginner, I'd scroll down and I'd check out in the technique section 2 different playlists to start off with. One is an accent tap playlist. So an accent is where you play a high note, and a tap is where you play a low note. So in this playlist, there's 54 videos in here at the moment. And what you do is you just like pick one of these. For example, I don't know, alternating upstroke sticking. Cool. And so you'd play through this. I'd recommend going slow. So like for this, I'm working on a controlled rebound. So I'm playing it fast. But normally when I'm practicing this, I'll play this at like 40 beats a minute and slowly work it up. And I have been drumming for almost 30 years. And I still slow this stuff down. So there's no shame in that. So when you're playing through this, the little carrot looking thing on the side, that's called an accent. So that means a big note. And then when it doesn't have it, that means a little note. So accent taps. So capital R or capital L is a big note, and then when they're lowercase, it's a smaller note. So triplet, 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 triplet is the very first measure right here. And you just keep going through this. So there's a bunch of accent tap exercises that you can work on as a beginner in this particular accent tap playlist. However, I would also recommend practicing at 1 height. So if you scroll back down into the technique section, and instead of going into the accent tap exercises, scroll down and check out the stick control variations in here. These are all at 1 height, and it's just non-stop like 16th notes or triplets, and you change your sticking around. So you just follow this, playing it all at 1 height. When it has, by the way, the little 3 dots, that just means continue the same sticking. So you just keep going right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left for this whole measure, and then you play through this. Right, 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 left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left. Whatever speed you're playing it at. I was just speeding up to show you the sticking. But these kinds of exercises, the stick and control exercises, are also really good for beginners. Once you get stick control exercises down, whether you're doing the fancy ones with filler or you're just doing a normal one with the sticking variations, and you've got some of these accent tap exercises down, then what I'd recommend is take a look in here. Inside the drumming tips playlist, or the drumming lessons playlist. There's a ton of tips in here. There's over 13 hours of tips in this one, and then there's some scripted lessons in here to help you out. So if you're like new to holding a stick, well, this video shows you how to hold a drumstick. If you want to hold it with traditional grip, well, cool. I've got a video that shows you how to do that as well as like how to practice quietly, etc. So these can be very helpful for like supplementing your learning. But if you have questions after you've spent like some time working on these exercises that I just showed you, then you can just come back into this stream or leave a comment on any of my videos, and I'll be happy to answer them. If you see, hey, thank you for the sub. If you see a video that is members first, so if we click right here, this one says members first right here, and that one, that means it's scheduled to release. So there's like 450 of them that are scheduled to release. But you don't have to pay for membership. It's a completely optional thing. If you press like the join button, then it will like explain that this is optional, but it's 99 cents. That's the lowest I can make it on YouTube. So if you want those 450 videos, cool. You can get it for 99 cents or just wait. It'll come out. I promise. It'll be free, but hopefully that helps you out. Good question though. This applies to the fours too. Yeah, so Snowy, let me go back to here. So we'll continue to work on my 3 strokes. But inside of this technique playlist, if we scroll down into the 3s and 4 strokes, there's a variation that is specific to the 4-stroke versions. So there's the isolated 4s and then isolated 4s with release. So instead of playing 3 notes, you play 4. Like that. But this exercise that I'm doing is just the isolated 3s. So we're just working on our 3 strokes right now. Yay! Oops. I played the wrong sticking. So sorry. It's showing you that the membership is 35 cents? Interesting. I'm assuming this is not the US dollar, right? That'd be my guess. So 99 cents is for like the USD. Maybe in like Australia or Canada it's different or something. But I don't know. Wow. Are you Owen Wilson? Wow. Hey. Hello! Hello again! Well, the movie thieves. Maybe you're just getting the membership on a discount, so buy now while it's cheap. What metronome do I recommend? I don't, actually. I'll show you why. Okay, so if we have a metronome, and yeah, I know this metronome that I use always just pulls up. Okay, it's wanting me to subscribe to a metronome. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. Oh, a summer sale. Wow, for a metronome. Entirely unnecessary. So I don't recommend this metronome app. That's why I'm not showing it on the overhead cam. Okay, so with a metronome, let's say you got quarter notes going. Cool. So this is fine. So if we're playing, we can hear if I get slightly off the beat and then get back onto it. Okay, so we can hear the difference in that. How do you know if this is rushed or slurred out when all you have is quarter notes? So, okay, now instead of doing quarter notes, fine. We'll change the subdivision and we'll play something else like this. So then we can hear that lining up. Cool, so now we can hear that. But now, are we gonna have to change every single time when we are like switching to a different rhythm? So for example, when I'm playing this has eighth notes, so we're gonna have the eighth note subdivision on for the metronome here, and then we're gonna have to like remove the subdivision here. But what about for the 16th subdivisions right here? Like the issues with metronomes are you're gonna constantly have to keep changing, either like to stay with quarter notes and understand that you're not gonna hear if these interior notes are in time or not, whether it's these 3 notes right here or these 5 notes right here. All you'd hear is the downbeats, or you're going to keep switching so that you have the correct subdivision. So for metronome, I do recommend you practicing with one, but what's even better than that are these play-alongs. The reason why is because you can actually hear when you're playing in time or not with these play-alongs. There's a reason why I've made over 2,000 of them, is because I'm trying to give you the kinds of resources that I wish I had when I first was learning to drum almost 30 years ago. We've got all these chop exercises, we've got all these grid variations, limb independence, marching bass, drumline scores, and then hundreds of technique exercises. It's so that way when you practice through these, you can practice them and hear all of the little nuances, like if you're playing a diddle, or if you're changing from like a duple into a quintuple into a like a 7-tuplet, whatever you're going to be doing. So this makes it so that you can actually practice and simulate playing with other people. Especially if you're in a drumline, this is like phenomenal. You can practice listening in and trying to match the interpretation with something that is computer generated. I have to like write these all out manually. But it's computer generated, so it's like perfectly in time. So if this exercise, like the way that I'm playing it, if it's too fast, they go slow. This one starts as 20 beats a minute, all the way up to 160. And the reason why it goes one click at a time is so you can just slowly refine it over time. So I recommend this over actually using a metronome, because the metronome has those issues. And there's actually a video coming out on Monday that's going to kind of talk about that in about a minute and a half. Anyways, it's a very good question, though. But I have a different answer than you're probably expecting. Let's hit drum fast. Go. That's interesting that your price differences are different than mine. Huh. So I was able to hear that the last couple lines there, I was a little bit off on the interpretation at the start, and then the threes right here, those 6 tuplets were not exactly in time. Starting off the left, so like the right hand was a little bit more open, like when I was just playing right there. So I was able to hear that little discrepancy in there because I wasn't just practicing with quarter notes. Like there was a video that I released on Monday that talks about ways that you can practice with the metronome, but it's not the ideal, if that hopefully makes sense. Yeah, slow down there. Yeah, so I keep wanting to do line 3 off the right hand instead of off the left. Don't do that, Jared. Okay, fine. Now, this exercise, great one to work on isolated threes. There's another one that's also a lot of fun. So if we go back down into the technique section here, click, and we go down to the 3s and 4 strokes exercises. There's a lot of like interesting chug variations that you can like work on, your 3s and your 4s. There's also exercises specifically for the 4s. But this exercise, the 1 2 1 3 1 4, is an interesting one. Sorry, just saw that. I actually don't know if the sound quality of the SM7B has gone down or not. This I bought 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, and it's been working great. So maybe recently, I don't know though. But yeah, I'm super happy with the microphone. So this exercise, you're doing downstrokes the entire time. And you're changing how many strokes you're doing. Now it's 4s. Etc. while going through the exercise, okay? So you're basically just doing this the entire time and then figuring out how many notes am I putting in between it. Are we doing so that there's 2 notes per stroke, 3 notes per stroke, or 4 notes per stroke? And it's a fun challenge. Will it sound good? I don't know. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Today's episode of Hit Drum Fast. Let's try it at 110. Woo! Lots of notes on those 4s. A little slow. You know how to get jig 2 like that? What do you mean how to get jig 2? Yeah, you order it on Amazon Prime. And then when the delivery person comes to deliver it to you, they like kick you in the shins. It's kind of rude, actually. I don't know why they do that. Again! It's fun, right? I will tell you, no, definitely not doing a tutorial on jig 2. But if you are going to do jig 2, instead of doing it with alternating, triple it, do it as 3 strokes. Like that. And then you can play it way faster. But no. I'm telling you, if you play jig 2, it summons the drumming boogeyman. He'll come and kick you in the shins. It's very rude of him. Thank you for the sub. Whoa! I slowed down. It's a fun one. My hands are like, no, you're not going to do that. Is this members only? Nope. Nope. So if you scroll back here, the exercise is called 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. And it's inside of the 3 and 4 stroke exercises playlist. And it is not members or members first, which is what this one is. There's like 450 that are scheduled to release over the next year and a half. New one every single day. But Edwards, so where you find this one, you scroll down to the technique section. Inside of the technique section, scroll down to the 3 and 4 strokes exercises, and then that's where you can find that one. Now, if you also want to like work on more 3 strokes and whatnot, there's under the chop exercises, there's actually a shopping spree that is like stock shopping spree with 3s. So if you want to get wacky, feel free and do that one. But I'm not going to do that one today. Let's see. Let's just like play good old classic 5/4 shopping spree just for fun, and then I'm gonna call it here and get ready for Tomb Raider. That's what it's called. Timestamps. I'm gonna play this one fast. I'm intentionally trying to chop out for fun, but I'd highly recommend slowing this down. Like start at 40 and then just go up 1 click at a time. If you're learning it, you'll get better. It'll help you improve your interpretation, blah 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 blah. Okay, so we're gonna start off at 100, which is like a relatively comfortable tempo, and then we're gonna go until the point where my like fingers fall off of my hands. I don't know if a nail polish will help with that, actually, to keep the rust off. But it sounds like you might have like a knockoff version of it, or just a bad version, because like mine's solid. So you might want to ask if you can get like a refund on that, get a like return to exchange it for a different one. Because like sometimes I've bought like a gaming console and it's like been defective, and then when they send me a new one, it's like, okay, now it works great. So maybe you just have a bad SM7B or something. I don't know, because that sounds weird. 110. So these are called float flam drags. And the next one is a float cheese. It's where you have that extra diddle on the 4th note of a 5-note pattern. Float 5s. It's a fun little variation of shopping spree. And I'm intentionally just chopping out here at the end of my practice sessions just to show you some fun exercises and to give myself some data for some things that I can work on for next time. So the other day when I was like chopping out and I was just like playing some 3 strokes and whatnot, I was like, they sound okay. So that's why we just spent like, 40 minutes just like starting slower, speeding them up. So this gives me data for things I'll work on for the next technique stream. It's a tasty tag. Agreed. This is probably my favorite shopping spree. It's very simple, but fun. Ooh-wee. All right, we're stalling. A word from today's sponsor, water. It tastes great. You should drink it. Use code Jared O'Leary in the water shop. You can tell I'm a water connoisseur just based on the size of that water bottle. All right, can we do this? We'll find out. I'll let you know in 1 minute. The answer might be no. to get one of those like temperature like guns. My hands feel warm, my forearms. If it was cold here, but you know, Arizona. If it was cold here, you'd see like steam coming off. You bought it off the Amazon refurbished? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just have a defective one. Maybe it got messed up in transit or something. Push to 160. Oh wow, Edwards. Okay. So if the play along ends with a 0 or a 5, it normally gives you like a few seconds to get yourself set up. But the very last one, it just immediately taps you off at 160. So let's see if I can even play the first measure at 160. The sticks that I'm using, by the way, are the Hardeman hammers. So they're the same barrel tip, but they're extra heavy and they're double tape. Whew! You can find a link to that. The second link right here takes you to /gear. So this is where you can find like books and gear that I recommend. Most of these are Amazon affiliate links, by the way. But the sticks that I'm using are these, the Hardeman hammers. Whew! They're like 44% heavier than the normal. So when I have this like normal pair of Hardemans that are taped, these still weigh 44% more than that. So at 160, my arms are like, please stop. What did I do to deserve this? Let's go back. So the first link that's in here takes you to here. So if you're on the vertical, this is jaredoleary.com/drum. So this is all of the same exercises that you have on the home tab of YouTube. It's just organized better than I can on YouTube because, you know, HTML. So there's 62 chop exercises in here. The one I was just doing was the Velvet Knights 5-4 shopping spree, but there are many more variations like the Blue Devils 99, Blue Devils 2000. There's Cheesy Poofs variations, as well as Flammus. I guess I should say that for the Cheesy Poofs, because I have copyright permission from Murray Gussick, who wrote it, you can't see all of the music because he still sells it on his website, Tapspace, but you can hear the entire part. So, like, you can still hear the entire thing, so you can use this to practice. This is the only, like, weird ones are Murray's music with Cheesy Poofs and Flammus. All the other ones show the entire thing. We've also got over 1,000 grid variations. I highly recommend working on these. There's 1,000. Keep you busy for a while, but just focus on, like, rudiment on one. There's a bunch of limb independent stuff. Tomorrow I'll be practicing more wacky limb independent things, so we'll be going through that. Almost 500 marching bass stuff. There's several drumline cadences. There's almost 400 technique exercises. Again, the one that I was working on today is found in the 3 and 4 strokes playlist. Whether you're doing the 1, 2, 1, 3, 1 through 4 exercise or the isolated threes, you can find them both in here. And then there's over 13 hours of drumming tips when people have like asked me questions on the various chats that I have on the screen. I will often edit those and put them into this playlist. There's just under 100 videos, all the prior live streams, and then here's like scripted lessons on like how to hold traditional grip, etc. Do I recommend the hammers for beginners? I'd recommend that for more intermediate and advanced drummers. So the hammers are great. You can find a link to it here. But they're great for building chops and endurance. But just like normal drumsticks are totally fine. I would not, like, absolute beginners would not recommend starting here because you haven't, like, developed the muscle strength and endurance to even be able to hold, like, marching sticks and be able to play for a while. But if you can drum with marching sticks for, like, a few hours a day and have it just, like, feel effortless and you want that extra little oomph to your practicing, then the hammers are great. But, yeah. And then there's also the hammer version that have these. So these are the... like rubber tip ones, and these are like even more for building chops, but they will eventually just like break off at the bottom of it. So at least all the ones that I've had do that. Well, as compared to like this pair, I've had this pair for, I don't know, at least a decade and no issues, which is why I usually try and avoid rim shots and whatnot because I don't want to break it. Like, they're a great pair of sticks. Anyways, I'm rambling. I appreciate people stopping in. If you enjoy all these thousands of free exercises, just share it with somebody else. It helps me out. You took cameras to a WGI audition and got yelled at? Yeah, WGI, they use like lighter sticks usually. I'd recommend for practicing, but I would not play them on a drum because they're too heavy for a drum. You might like pop the head, but you know, to each their own. Some instructors swear by some things, some instructors swear by other things. I'm just one person. Just because I have a doctorate doesn't mean my opinion is better than other people. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope you enjoy these free exercises. If you don't, I don't know why you stuck around the stream. Maybe it's because of my awesome hairdo. I know, I did it myself. But I'm going to get ready for Tomb Raider here in probably about 15 or so minutes. So thank you and goodbye.